It is September, so it's basically fall. That means it's time for my fall TBR. I'm very much excited. It's one of my favorite seasons, spooky season. There's going to be a lot of horror in here. But let's get started first with the books I've already started reading and I'm trying to finish or just kind of get through. I'm going to definitely make the effort this season to finally finish Wizard and Glass by Stephen King. I am enjoying it. It's probably my favorite of the Dark Tower books so far, but we'll see kind of how it goes. I have about 300 pages left. I'm trying to knock it out. As well as continuing to work on Last Days by Adam Neville, who is absolutely one of my favorite modern horror authors. This one I'm still trying to figure out how I feel about it. There's definitely great moments, and I think the dread is there. I'm just trying to see kind of where it goes and how it will compare to the three other books I've read by him, but still very much enjoy it. Then I started reading the Imago Sequence and Other Stories by Laird Barron. This is my first collection by him, and I've only read 2 stories so far, but again, he is very much praised to be a great cosmic horror author, so I'm excited to see kind of where it goes. The first 2 that I've read, I've enjoyed. So now we start the actual fall TBR. I associate fall with 2 things. Oftentimes it's fantasy and horror. Fantasy because a lot of the Renaissance fairs are going on, and then horror, of course, for spooky season. So the first book I'm going to start is The Once and Future King by T.H. White, which is, of course, a retelling of the classic Arthurian legend. I'm excited to check this out. And then I'm going to start The Boys in the Valley by Philip Fracassi. Now we're going to start getting into the horror. This is said to be like a mix between Lord of the Flies and The Exorcist. And you guys know The Exorcist is my favorite book. So excited to check that out. Then I'm going to jump into Clown in a Cornfield, which is said to be like a slasher set in Missouri. So very much fall vibes here. You get the farms and everything. Excited for that. As well as I'm going to try and reread The Only Good Indians by Stephen Graham Jones. I started this years ago. I just could not get into it. So I'm going to try and give it another go. See kind of what happens. Then I'm going to read The Rim of Morning by William Sloane, which is a collection of the 2 novels, the only 2 novels he ever wrote, which are very kind of different tales of cosmic horror, so I'm very much excited for that. As well as I'm going to read my first Grady Hendrix books, and that is Horror Store, which is, again, a horror book set in an IKEA-type setting, so checking out him, going to be interesting. I'm going to read Dead Leaves by Keelan Patrick Burke, who is an Irish author, I believe, and these are just like short stories based around Halloween and the haunting season. I'm going to start some Thomas Ligotti, Songs of a Dead Dreamer, and Grimscrap, another great cosmic horror classic author. A lot of people said his fiction is quite strange, so we'll see how that goes. As well as I'm going to read What October Brings, which is a collection of short stories, an anthology, a celebration, like a Lovecraftian celebration of Halloween. And then I'm going to read a classic here that I am ashamed to say I've never read, and that is The Legend of Sleepy Hollow. I'll see about if I want to read the other stories in here.